had a boss who made your stomach churn just by walking past your desk? Or one who, with a few calm words, could make a mountain of work feel like a molehill? We've all heard the whispers, the legends, the horror stories. But what really happens when two drastically different leadership styles are applied to the same high-stakes battle for survival? Forget theory, forget hypotheticals. Today, we're examining a corporate showdown. One leadership style uses fear as a cattle prod. The other, clarity as a compass. The prize? Turning around a failing department. The cost of failure? Well, let's just say it's more than just a bad quarterly report. A stunning majority of employees are either not engaged or actively disengaged at work. And guess what? Leadership is a massive piece of that puzzle. In fact, managers account for at least 70% of the variance in employee engagement scores. So get ready, because this isn't just some management seminar. This is a showdown. And before we dive in, here's the thing. This isn't just about results. It's about burnout. Leading with fear drains energy and leaves people overwhelmed. Leading with clarity, it fuels engagement and prevents the slow leak of exhaustion that destroys both performance and people. That's why in my full circle leadership practice, clarity is one of the first components, because if you don't have it, burnout is inevitable. Let's imagine Peak Performance Incorporated, a company name that I just made up, actually existed. Once a titan of industry, its innovative spark is dimmed. Client satisfaction scores have plummeted, and internal surveys are bleak. Employees describe the culture as walking on eggshells. Clients describe service as confusing at best, antagonistic at worst. The board is restless, shareholders are muttering, and the smell of desperation is starting to overpower the stale coffee in the break room. A leadership shakeup is demanded. And two departments are on the chopping block, bleeding red ink and morale. The innovation hub, once the creative engine of the company, now sputtering out tired ideas. And client solutions, which has somehow become remarkably skilled at creating more client problems instead of fewer. Two managers are given an ultimatum. Turn these departments around in 3 months or face a brutal corporate restructuring. The first manager leads with fear. Their philosophy is simple. Employees are like nails. Sometimes you just have to hammer them to get them to stick. This manager is known for impending doom motivational techniques and is tasked with whipping the innovation hub into shape. The second manager leads with clarity. Their mantra is, clarity is kindness. This leader believes that if people know the what, the why, and the how, they'll not only do their jobs, but actually excel because they know where they're going, why they're going there, and how to get there. They're tasked with navigating client solutions out of the Bermuda Triangle of bad service transparency, empathy, and a truly staggering number of sticky notes. The challenge is set. The teams are misaligned. The clock is ticking. Two managers, two failing departments, two diametrically opposed philosophies. This is leading with fear versus leading with clarity. The ultimate business showdown. Let's begin. Now let me pause here and bring this closer to home. When I was president of a large organization, I watched this exact dynamic play out almost every single quarter. Anytime the budget was missed, even slightly, the room would fill with fear. Suddenly, there would be a flurry of extra meetings, more PowerPoints, endless spreadsheets, teams running around frantically, trying to prove their worth or cover their bases. You've probably seen this movie before. It wasn't that people didn't care. It was that fear had hijacked the system. Instead of solving problems, everyone was reacting. And here's the kicker. Those panic-driven efforts rarely solved anything. They just created more exhaustion, more second-guessing, and guess what? More burnout. Contrast that with the times when we got clear, when we slowed down, aligned on the actual priorities, and communicated them openly, and also had an acceptance of reality. Not every day is going to be up and to the right. Suddenly, the panic subsided. People felt grounded. They knew what to focus on, and guess what? That's when the real solutions surfaced. Not out of fear, but out of clarity. That experience sealed something for me. If you lead from fear, you multiply chaos. If you lead from clarity, you multiply focus. And the difference determines whether your team ends up energized or completely burned out. And it's highly likely that the results will be more consistent over time, too. And so the ultimate business showdown concludes. The victor? Overwhelmingly, unequivocally, leading with clarity. The CEO promotes the clarity-based leader to oversee a new strategic or a vitalization initiative, expanding their principles to other areas of the company. The fear-based manager is quietly transitioned out of the organization. The Innovation Hub is rebooted under new leadership that understands true innovation can't be bullied into existence. This is a reflection of a fundamental truth. Leading with fear might grant short-term compliance, but it corrodes trust, kills innovation, and grinds communication to a halt. Employees are pushed into survival mode, focused on self-preservation instead of excellence. And here's the hidden cost: burnout. Research by Christina Maslach, one of the pioneers in burnout science, shows that chronic stress without clarity leads to emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and decreased effectiveness. The 3 hallmarks of burnout. In other words, fear doesn't just hurt performance, it eats away at people's very capacity to keep showing up. Leading with clarity, however, creates psychological safety, the bedrock of high-performing teams. Transparent communication builds trust. When leaders explain the why, empower their teams, and admit to their own mistakes, they foster loyalty, engagement, and better decision-making. Most importantly, they sustain energy. Clarity isn't just a leadership tactic, it's a burnout prevention strategy. So what are the practical takeaways? First, be transparent. Share what you know and what you don't. Second, explain the why behind decisions to foster buy-in and to provide more clarity, because that will help drive the how. Third, encourage dialogue and create a safe space for feedback. Fourth, model vulnerability by owning your own mistakes. And finally, align your actions with your values, not just immediate pressures and short-term gains. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about your team. This is how you protect yourself as a leader from overwhelm. Fear keeps you firefighting. Clarity lets you step back, see the bigger picture, and make choices that conserve, not deplete, your energy. And this is exactly why the first pillar of my full circle leadership practice is called Get Clear. Because when leaders and teams align around clarity about purpose, priorities, and process, they unlock creativity, protect energy, and prevent burnout before it starts, because it doesn't get driven by fear. So what's your take? Have you worked under a leader who led with fear or one who led with clarity? Which style have you found to be more effective in your own experience? I'd love to hear your stories and insights in the comments below. And if you found this business showdown enlightening and want more insights into what makes organizations tick, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I got plenty more showdowns and solutions coming your way. Of course, subscribe to get more great tips on how to thrive in the 9 to 5 and beyond. Happy thriving!